sending data. And live on Facebook, live on YouTube.
Tonight on The Dive, yoga teacher, event producer, DJ, sex coach, Koreen Valdovinos, and journalist, Syran Warner, with special guest, Julie Davitt. Your table is ready, and your server, Colleen, will be right with you.
Glad you're here. Thanks for coming. So you know what I was thinking about today? I was thinking about how my favorite thing about the dive and every other dive I've ever worked at is that everybody can come in, right? I mean, there's something to it. There's something to the there's something to the general population just being able to show up at any given time. You know what I mean? For that sort of conversational strange, I guess, that hit of you don't know what the hell's going to happen. Yeah, that's what I like best, I think, about this business. But the other thing that I like about it is that it's the weird sort of community that it fosters. Because once you're a regular at a place, you become part of the place, right? So that's kind of what I think about when I see you here. You're one of my regulars, and I like that. I hope the kickoff of the holiday season is going well for you. I am ditching out on the holidays this year, so in favor of getting my house clean. Isn't that nice? I think so. But I did get invited to a Pampered Chef party. Yeah, and I'm sorry to my friend Gina who invited me to the Pampered Chef party, but I'm sorry, Gina. I will never go to your Pampered Chef parties. It's a cult. I went to a Pampered Chef party once and I ended up spending $300 on things that I could have gotten at Target for $100 and been just fine. But it, I mean, I guess it helped my friend make some money. So that's cool. Years ago, when I was a young single mother, I got accosted by an Amway person. And it was really weird because this woman, she just found me in the grocery store with my daughter in a stroller, and she just started you know, like talking to me. And at first I wondered if, you know, I thought, is she hitting on me? Why would this woman, she was like in her mid-30s, and I'm like 20 years old, and she was like really interested in my life. And I'm thinking, yeah, I'm just, hand to mouthing it in the world. And, I don't have furniture. I have a crib, but I live in one room and there you go. But she was really interested in everything. And she said, oh, it's cold outside. Can I give you a ride home? And I said, no, I don't, like I was a little too freaked out to get in her car. But then I wasn't, she took my telephone number, right? And, so on and so forth. She's talking to me. I think, well, maybe she's just super lonely. And then I get invited to a dinner at her house. And then everybody's super interested in me and everybody's talking to me. And here I find out it's Amway. So they wanted me, this person who didn't have anything, to join Amway. And I can't say that I was disappointed. The only thing I was disappointed about was not lining my pockets with tinfoil so that I could take more of the food home that was at the party. But anyway, so that's what I'm thinking about tonight. I'm thinking about kind of cultish behavior, cults and all that. That's what I'm thinking about.
Hey, Colleen there.
Hmm.
Hi, from the kitchen.
Hi.
Hi, you ever think about resurrection?
Resurrection?
Yeah.
What do you mean resurrection?
Well, you know how we get those little box elder bugs that reanimate, and they're kind of a stinky bug when you kill one.
Yeah.
But like, if you were to resurrect one, I think it would probably be like, A, free of nature. That's not natural, and probably odorless. Huh?
Like, what do you think? They're like full of air or full of secrets?
I don't
Full
know.
of
They just stink when you kill them. But
yeah.
my guess is, I mean, they come right back to life in the spring. No smell whatsoever. Something to think about. Oh, I think somebody's
Thanks.
gonna come in.
Oh yeah, the door. Hey. Hi. How are you? Have a seat.
Hey.
I'm so glad you found the place.
It was hard, but I got here.
Yeah, I know. It's
Cold.
well, it's not
Dark.
it is cold outside. It's dark out, but you found it. You saw the open sign and you're here. What's your name?
Koreen.
Koreen?
Koreen, yes.
Nice to meet you.
You
My
too.
name's Colleen.
Awesome.
I feel like you here, let me get you
I
something.
need some tea.
You need some tea? All right, I'm
Mhm.
gonna get you some tea.
Thank
Here
you.
we go. Yeah, I got a whole big spigot of tea back here. There you are.
Hey, thank you.
Sure. All right. It's not easy having a diner in your basement. But this is
I would imagine.
it's actually my mother's basement.
Ah,
But I'm
kind of like a speakeasy.
kind of a speakeasy that serves pie,
Hey,
And
I'm
not-
here for it.
not any alcohol. So, what did you do today? What do you do?
Oh gosh, I spent a lot of time on the internet because that's what we do now.
Okay.
Well, I produce events and wellness events and yoga events. I teach yoga. I own a studio, so there's a lot of busy work happening on the
Okay.
back end and a lot of people to talk to,
Well-
you know.
What kind of events do you produce?
Oh, well, primarily yoga events, dance events, wellness events, moving meditation, gong baths, big hippie, dippy, fucking beautiful events. You know,
I like that you said hippie
yeah,
fucking dippy.
it's hippie fucking dippy,
Yeah.
and it's my thing, and I
Yeah.
love it.
Because that tells me that it's not too serious.
It's not too serious, but
Yeah.
sometimes it is serious.
Well, that's fine. I'm an absurdist. That's what somebody called me a cynic the other day, and I thought that's not true. I'm an
Ah.
absurdist.
Hmm.
Because I don't think anything should be taken too seriously.
Agree.
Even the most serious of things.
Totally agree.
Yeah, yeah. And I think once you do that, it becomes its own sort of death knell for whatever it is. You know
Yep.
what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutism is kind
Yeah.
of it's the devil. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't believe in the devil, but like, if there was one, it's absolutism.
Yeah. Well, I think we're seeing that in real time.
Mm-hmm.
This is bad and this is good, and there's no gray area in
Right.
between, right?
Absolutely.
That's kind of what we're seeing.
Yeah.
Would you like some pie?
I love pie.
Okay, I got some.
Kinds of pie.
I'm glad you want some pie because I have. Nice. Time for pie. I have some delicious apple pie
Yum.
because it's the season. Would you like a little whipped cream on that?
Hell yeah.
All right. You tell me. You tell me how much.
Okay.
All right.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Okay, go.
Okay.
A little here too.
All right. There. Ready? Woo!
Mm.
All right. That sounds good. Mm. Oh my
That's
God. It's so
awesome.
good.
That's beautiful.
There you are.
Can I take a picture of this for my
You
Instagram?
sure can. Yeah.
Everything.
all about the
It didn't
gram, right?
happen if it's not on Instagram.
That's true. That's true.
Not at all.
So, I was thinking about,
Mm-hmm.
I got invited to a Pampered Chef party,
Mm-hmm.
and I had to tell my friend Gina that I wasn't going to go because, first of all, I'm not so sure that the
Yeah.
quality of the stuff is really like so great that, you can't just get it somewhere else or even at the Goodwill, whatever, and I already have all my kitchen stuff. I don't need any of that.
Right.
But it just got me to thinking about all the ways that people suck you into their sort of mid-level marketing scheme. And then I was, what I was thinking about? I was thinking about specifically Christianity.
Oh.
as a mid-level marketing scheme. But I can get into that later.
Yeah.
But it's would you call yourself an alternative coach, an alternative
Yes,
healer?
absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. So I have a lot to say about this.
All right, tell me.
Well, you might say I'm on the fringe of things in this hippy dippy spiritual new age world, but which is true.
Yeah.
But I'm this realist over here, so I'm the weird of the weird.
Okay.
I'm a bit of a realist who really believes in critical thinking, and at the same time, I'm dealing with spiritual people, seekers, people who are hurting, people who are dealing with trauma and like looking for a way to heal, right? That's what I'm a healer in the healing arts. But yet, here it is. Here it is. There's so many seekers out there because they're so willing to and desiring for a place to find peace that so many of my people, my friends, have been sucked into multi-level marketing schemes. I've been sucked into them.
You got sucked into a multi-level marketing scheme?
Multi-level marketing schemes, cults, the whole range of things. Like authoritarian gurus, cults, the whole gamut. My people dabble in these things, and I feel like I am a person who likes to reel them back in at the same time being a spiritual teacher, which is so interesting.
Yeah.
Because I believe in the body, the mundane. I believe in like that reality is real, math is real, science is real, and like that's spiritual too.
When people come to you looking for answers, how do they find you?
Oh my gosh. So I owned a studio for a long time. I still own the studio, but I had a studio in Lake Street up until the pandemic and some riots during Minneapolis after George Floyd was murdered. So I had a studio on Lake Street that was very alternative and like, I'm just going to be totally honest here. It was started out by a bunch of sex worker money. Funded it, and like, here we are, blew up the studio. Spirituality classes, yoga classes, women's circles, aerial classes, and just a community place where I like to lift cool teachers up. That became my job, is to find teachers in the community who are not recognized and like bring them a little recognition. So I met a lot of people, and a lot of people seeking to be teachers who were seeking for power for various ways, or had very interesting beliefs around spirituality and wellness. So I feel I'm very educated in that realm now, like the trending aspects of all of this. I get it, but it's led me on an adventure.
How did the MLM find you and come after you?
Yoga.
Through yoga?
Let's talk about yoga.
Like through an accredited, like...
Well, I used to teach at Core Power Yoga, which was like corporate.
That's a big deal.
Corporate yoga, yeah. Sure it was.
That's like
a lot.
Yeah.
You go through like a whole process of many, well, I went through 3 trainings before I was teaching, and you have to go through auditions. It's basically you're a performer. Let's be straight up. You're a performer.
Auditions?
Oh, yeah. I went through multiple auditions before I could get a job for like $20 an hour. Yeah. So there is like a cult aspect to Core Power Yoga.
Yeah.
Absolutely. 100%. That's a whole other, I mean, that is a relevant story, quite frankly, but.
Sure. But the MLM found you through yoga?
Well, yeah, my people at yoga that I met there, one of the teachers specifically was like, oh, I cured XYZ disease all on my own through nutrition. Cool. There's a lot of relevant information there and a lot of science behind that. That is entirely true. But let's just fast forward like 10 years after that. I owned my own business, and she was seeking to promote her MLM through me. And I was like, oh, this is good, right? Sustainable soil, green juices, detoxification, like the yoga principles of purity, which I now very much question in all religions and all purity culture is like that.
Yeah.
But it's wrapped up in that. So from that place, I was on a journey with selling green juices. And because people believe me, I'm a nice person.
Yeah.
They like me.
Right.
They want to buy my green juices.
Right.
I made some money. I got people under me. I became a part of the pyramid.
Oh.
Pretty quickly.
And did you like not realize what was happening at the time?
Well, I
or-
did, but you know, like the whole thing with multi-level marketing and all cults is like you have to really buy into the idea that you're doing something good. Like you are here
Yeah.
for a big deal. Like you're going to change the world because green juices, sustainable soil, getting rid of glyphosate and like in the food products that we eat.
There's glyphosate in that pie, by the way.
I'm good with it.
Okay.
In my, based
I
on
don't know
my
what
studies,
glyphosate is. But that's
small amounts, I'm going to be okay. But it's a bad chemical, though. It's a
Yeah,
bad
okay.
chemical. Let's be clear. It's
Right.
a very bad chemical. But while that's all true, they suck in a lot of people with no science backgrounds, no nutrition backgrounds, no real anything besides the fact that, oh, I'm a yoga teacher and I'm 21 and like I want to save the world, which is lovely.
I don't believe a 21-year-old expert in anything.
No shit, right?
In anything except technology. Then
Yeah.
I go, oh, sure, it's got to be real. You know, whatever.
Right.
Say, I maybe I have a question.
Yeah.
So I got out on Halloween. I was in a dark forest, and an owl man gave me a book of the dark arts. And I'm curious if either of you know a phonetic cuneiform or kind of like tangential Aramaic. I thought it'd be great for our occult episode.
No, it's not occult. It's cult. Cult. Like Jim Jones, like Gwen Shamblin and the Way Down Ministries, like Amway.
Amway.
I think a performer such as yourself would have a little better diction.
Oh, yeah, well. Sorry, Hamill. Sorry about that.
I mean, I have a video too.
You do?
I do have a video, but
Oh.
it's about the occult. It came from actually a troll.
Okay.
And
I'd like to see it.
yeah, I mean, I guess I'm gonna have to go with it, and we're just gonna get through this thing. The show must go on. But here, take a look at this is an actual troll that sent this to me on the internet. His name is Spubert Boneswallow,
Oh.
and he wants to show you a little something paranormal from Gloucestershire, England.
Gloucestershire, England holds a dark secret. Welcome to the ancient Ram Inn, where every creaky floorboard tells a tale. Let's rattle some bones. Built in 1145 on an ancient pagan burial ground, this decrepit inn sits at the crossing of two ley lines, a highway for dark energy. Child sacrifices, witch burnings, and devil worship have stained these medieval walls. The current owner was dragged from his bed by dark forces on his very first night. A witch burning in the 1500s haunts the attic room that bears her name. A demon entity called Incubus preys on visitors in the bishop's room. Children's spirits scream in the night, and a high priestess performs her dark rituals in the basement. Dare to spend a night in England's most haunted inn, and you may have a brush with the paranormal. Join us next time as we bring you yet another haunted location from around the world.
Yeah, so a little off topic there,
Wow.
guys. I'll let you get to it. It seems like you're having fun.
Huh.
Wow.
Well, that had to be the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my entire.
Hi, Mom.
Excuse me, I just
Hi.
happened to be in the neighborhood sweeping up stink bugs.
This is my mom, Mom Koreen.
Hi, Koreen.
Yeah, this is her
Lovely
house. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So-
the pie looks delicious. You know, all this talk about the cult,
Yeah.
I hate that word. The world does not need another four-letter word that starts with a C. So,
No, the other
See you
four-letter
next
word.
Tuesday.
The fourth-letter word that starts with a C is just fine right now.
well, I get the two confused.
Oh, dude.
Oh, what do you mean you're not going to put up decorations? You're going to help me
Yeah.
put up that Christmas tree,
Oh.
you big cult.
Yes. Thanks, Mom. I will. Mom, you were in California in the 70s. Did you ever have a
I was indeed. Those were the days.
Yeah. Did you
Frisky.
you ever have any experience with like Moonies or anything like that?
Well, not very much because they all wore orange, so you knew when to run, you know. If there was more than two of them together, you cross the street. But I did have it was a very tragic story. Do you have time for a tragic story?
Always.
Do you have Kleenex?
Always. I've got
You
some.
might want to
napkins.
leave. Well, she's going to need a napkin anyway.
Okay.
A little greedy with the whipped cream there, I see. Did you remind her how much a can of whipped cream goes
It's
for?
on sale right now, Mom. You're not paying
Oh, it
for
is on
anything.
sale.
Yeah. I'm good. All right.
Well, now, there's a lot of this I can't explain. But when I was living in San Francisco, I spent a little time working in an optometrist's office. Dr. Whitland was the optometrist, and I was his optician and receptionist. And for some reason, Dr. Whitland got, I don't know if it was a contract necessarily or just word of mouth, but all of a sudden, all these people were coming in from Oakland to have their eyes examined to get glasses. And they were from this group called the People's Temple. And I don't think I ever met Jim Jones, but I certainly met a lot of his followers. And because they were getting their glasses before they went to Guyana, South America. And the very nice people, you know, grandmothers with their grandbabies. And,
Oh my God.
yeah, no, they were a lot of very sweet people. And
Just getting some glasses.
Yeah.
just getting some glasses. And then when that whole thing happened, the whole Kool-Aid thing, and it was very sad, and I had to hold on to it for a long time, that sadness, because,
Because you met those people.
well, yeah, and I had to go through all these files of all these patients and pull dead people's files out of our filing cabinet.
Oh my gosh.
It was very grim. I mean, some days, today's count was 50. You know, it was,
Oh my God.
yeah, it was very sad. So, yeah, I'm reminded of it. Now that's a cult.
That is a cult.
Yeah, that's it. Well, I mean, there's all kinds of cults right now going on. You know, there's did you know, by the way, I just found this, my daughter just told me that the Kardashians have a church.
What?
Yeah, they do. They have a church because it's a tax write-off.
Oh, blessed be her ass.
It's true.
What?
The Kardashians have their own church,
Wild.
and it is ever since they started being billionaires with a B, they
Well,
have a
aren't
church.
all churches, or religions, I should say, aren't all religions a cult?
Absolutely. Aspects of it. Some of it is problematic, and then not so much, some of them. But anything with an authority figure
Mm-hmm.
that knows more than everyone and requires
Yeah.
work, money, speed of labor.
Howdy, can I get a
Hey, I'm so glad you found the place.
Juicy Lucy?
Have a seat. I'm sorry,
Juicy
I don't have a
Lucy.
Juicy Lucy. What's your name, sir?
I'm Syran Warner.
Syran Warner. Nice
I'm
to meet you.
Yeah, I'm a journalist. I like to introduce myself with a video.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
Oh, well, that's
you
neat.
excuse me, I
Oh.
have other stink bugs I have to clean up.
That's my mom, Syran.
Very nice.
Nice to meet you.
Okay.
It's kind of cute. isn't it?
Sure. Well, I tell you what, I'll pour you. I have a little coffee, and or tea. I can pour that while we look at your
A tea.
Okay, introductory video.
Step on that one, will you? Thank you.
I investigate cults. Primarily, I focus on long reporting with small groups that haven't received any exposure in the media. It's a strange beat, and the cults have come up with some strange explanations to account for my presence.
Actually, if any of you have heard of a cult hunter telling a story about a cult in Nikiski, that man, he is all wrong.
So, you have to be the one to tell your mind to shut the fuck up.
Whoa. Okay. So, well, it's very fortuitous that you showed up in the basement
I know.
here at the diner.
I kind of overheard the conversation while I was coming in.
Oh, nice.
Know
All right,
something
yeah.
about
We were
this.
talking about MLMs and cults and religion and all that. So, did you how did you get involved with this?
Well, it was a very strange evolution. I was a journalist before I started studying cults.
Uh-huh.
And I was working on a crime story where one of my sources told me that she had all the answers, and I trusted her because she was a journalist, and I followed all the leads she gave me, and people started telling me when I started repeating her stories that she was in a cult, and I was like, that's impossible, it's ridiculous. There's it's no such. I didn't know anything about cults at the time. I thought it was something that happened every decade or so, where a bunch of crazy people followed some crazy person, and then there was a news story, and I didn't believe in it really as a phenomenon. I didn't know anything about it.
So this person that was giving you information about this crime was actively in a cult?
Actively in a cult and brainwashed me. Sort of. I mean, I certainly didn't get it the way that I've seen it since in the 7 years or so that I've been on this journey, but turned my mind around to ideas that I didn't have before I met her.
Brainwashing. That seems like that's an integral part of what needs to happen to be able to sort of join a set of ideals that you ordinarily wouldn't align yourself with. How did you get brainwashed?
Well, I guess it was like this. It's a form of persuasion that's pretty extreme. The term brainwashing comes from this guy Robert J. Lifton, who was studying Maoist China. The Chinese literally had this word brainwashing, like we're gonna wash somebody's brain and give them better ideas than they have. So it comes from U.S. government research. The term. Some people think it's science fiction. It's not. And you see, I guess, in all cult stories, people who believe in things that aren't factually correct, and that can be as extreme as in Jonestown, which I overheard somebody talking about before I came in here,
or
where
Dr. Oz,
or it can be something as I'm gonna make $1 million selling these Skims.
I just read an article. Weird. I just read an article this morning about. I can't remember the writer, but sorry about that because I know you're a writer. But the title of the article was "The most dangerous charlatan is one who's only half full of shit," because the other part that's not full of shit gives you enough to hang on to, and it kind of lets you.
Well, that's the essence of all cults. All cult thinking. No one would join a cult if something wasn't great about it.
If you didn't know that, well, yeah, you would never join a cult if you knew it was a cult, and and you're right that every cult has something good.
Yeah.
Sort of. It depends on. You get in a lot of weird definitional areas, but something about it that appeals to people. There's this big fiction about satanic cults, which aren't really a thing,
right?
Because it's so hard to get people, a group of people to align with the Dark Lord Satan.
What I think is really funny about that, though, is I remember, I was sort of born during my mother's, or came of age during my mother's grand rebellion when she stopped going to church, right? And then I hit the teen years, and church was back with a vengeance. We had to go to church. And I was in a band. I was in a garage band back then. Not a very good one, but a garage band nonetheless. And Tipper Gore, are you old enough?
Oh, I know Tipper.
Tipper Gore, yeah. She was having this thing where it was do you know what your kids are listening to? Do you have everything? And there was a special deal at my church that my mom and I had to go to about the evils of rock and roll music, and they showed a bunch of albums that I actually had, and my mother went into my albums and it was that was it. And I had to I didn't quit the band or anything like that. I just had to lie about where I was going, but it was really interesting because there was no satanic cult, but now there is. Now there's the Church of Satan, which I think is born out of the fear.
But that's not actually. That's not a cult.
No, I know it's not, because it's like
cult almost.
right.
And I guess like the fascinating thing about Tipper Gore is that she turned Twisted Sister into like human rights activists. That's how how off she was.
Yeah.
Nice. No, can I ask you? Would you like some pie?
I just want the frost, the stuff on
Oh,
top.
okay.
The whipped
You
cream.
wanted to know that? I got
Some of
that
this,
for
I
you.
got some of
Okay,
this.
here.
Yeah.
Here we go. You tell me when, okay? Oh, hi, Mom.
One more story while I'm eavesdropping.
Okay.
Now, this is something that I kept from you, because why should I tell you?
Okay.
It's rather embarrassing, actually.
All right.
But as long as we're talking about that kind of cultish thing,
Okay.
a cult actually destroyed my third marriage. Might have been my second marriage. No, third.
Third. Okay.
I was married to the Welshman.
Oh.
Bedweer was his name. Bedweer up David.
Bedweer. David.
Yeah.
Okay.
His name was Gower. Isn't that funny? Gower.
Okay.
Isn't that an ugly name?
What was?
Anyway, I was working at this beauty salon.
Uh-huh.
I've had numerous jobs in my life. And my husband, Bedweer, used to come and pick me up, and I introduced him to some of the people that I worked with, and one of them was, I forget what her real name was. It was something like Lucy. And she was a channeler. Actually, she was hired as a masseuse at the salon.
Okay.
But she would talk these people, these customers, into coming to see her. And she would go into a trance for them. Oh, I'm going under. Oh, I'm going under. I am not Lucy. I am
Goosey.
Yeah. I'm Madame Shahrazadi,
Oh man.
Queen of the Gypsies.
You know everybody's got.
What would you like to know? Your wife is a bitch. She literally talked him into thinking I was this horrible person because I wouldn't go to her. And finally I was like, Bedweer, if you have found the meaning of life, why aren't you smiling? You know, that's all. See, that's my second sad story.
That is sad. Sorry about that.
Thanks, Ma.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
It's not cool.
No.
No, don't
That's
tell
why I
anybody
remember
about
that
it. I'm very embarrassed.
No. So, thanks, Ma. He comes in every now and again. Now, were you in a cult?
No, well, no. Okay, so
You got brainwashed, but you weren't in a cult.
no, the brainwashing was kind of like a mechanism to keep me away from the thing I was looking at.
The crime.
Yeah, it was kind of like I think this guy committed a murder, and I found somebody that really wanted me to think something else. And I slowly got convinced that like maybe I was wrong, and maybe everything was not like it was supposed to. And there were all these like coincidences in my life that this person was telling me like that's not a coincidence, it's God. Like God is doing these, and I started to believe it. I have to say though, like I still am I was an atheist when this was happening, but it sort of pushed me into religious thinking, and I'm probably sort of aligned with like New Age thinking today in a lot of respects.
Koreen's a yoga instructor.
Yes, I could tell from
the thing that I don't understand about yoga, not yoga, but because I do understand yoga, and I know that if I do it, I feel great afterwards. But the thing that I don't understand about New Age stuff is that there are so many delineations. There's so many different subsects of what you might put under the umbrella of New Age that you think, say what you will about the conservative Christians, their message is it's they're walking in lockstep with one another. You know what I mean? Like they've got the virgin birth, this and that's it, right? They've got one story and they're sticking to it.
What I would say, like my feelings on the New Age is really like this is a form of religion that just acknowledges that there's something beyond our lives. And this could be like I think about Christianity is very like especially the gross weird southern stuff. Sorry.
Some stuff.
But the way I think about the New Age is that it is sort of like I don't know, but I know there's something beyond like this like simple life where I go in and clock in and I go to sleep every night and like long for something and like I'm trying to fix my problems. Like it's a part of something bigger than yourself.
Well, we all want to feel like we're a part of something bigger than ourselves, and that's exactly right. The issues that I see in my world is, yes, I feel that way too. It's weird because I've gone through, I was brought up Catholic.
Me too.
Wow.
And, I had to like confess my sins, and I had a great uncle who was a priest who taught Mass in Latin, one of the last ones in America. He also was a demonologist, and like all these, the one I was talking about before.
Demonologist?
Yeah, like he did exorcisms, and like that's a real thing. Like study demons. Like there is a whole lineage of demons out there.
Like Pokemon,
I guess, pretty close.
It's just like Pokemon.
Just like it. But the same thing is happening now. Let's just say like, okay, religion, old religion, new religion, repeat. Have you heard of the Akashic Records?
Oh yes.
Okay, like
what is it?
Okay, so like the Akashic Records, it's this is about like past lives and like the cycle of like everything that we're like the whole of everything is part of. I learned this from a New Age preacher named Linda McGillis, who's often off about her information. So I'm not gonna say that everything I know about it is factual.
Okay.
But the whole idea is that there are these things that are imprinted upon us through like the cycle in our lives and stuff.
Oh sure. So like somebody might have a predisposition to piano music if they were a piano teacher in the 1900s, right? That kind of deal.
It goes even deeper than that. It goes into space and alien beings.
And the Galactic Federation of what is it called? The Galactic Federation of Worlds.
Yep.
Say, we have a few questions from the kitchen here.
Oh yeah.
Let's give these a shot, shall we? Oh, pardon me. Here we are in the kitchen. All right. Any of you may answer. Inspired and based off of Roman Catholic concepts and imagery that were present in the Italian Renaissance, these decks of cards are used for fortune telling, self-discovery, and making decisions.
Tarot cards. Yay.
All right. Nicely done. That was an easy one. Let's build this yes ladder. We're in it together. Okay, so then Order 322, or the Brotherhood of Death at Yale, as better known as what?
Stanford.
Yale.
Oh.
The Brotherhood
Can you
of
repeat the
Death?
question?
The Order 322, or the Brotherhood of Death, which is at Yale, is better known as what?
United States Congress.
We will accept that. It is the Order of the Skull and Bones, or Skull and Bones, which we heard about.
Yeah.
Anybody know some of the notable presidents for bonus points?
No.
Man, that one I'm not into.
You got both George Sr. and W,
Ugh.
along with William Howard Taft.
Oh,
He was a funny guy.
obviously.
Okay, just a couple more here. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's wife claimed to be a medium, but when she held a seance to communicate with the deceased mother of a celebrated entertainer and noted skeptic, the entertainer denounced her. The messages had come through in English, but his mother spoke Yiddish. Who was this celebrated entertainer and noted skeptic?
Jack Benny.
All right, Shirley Temple. Wait,
I'm just gonna leave him hanging out to dry. This is Marlon Brando.
Charlie Chaplin.
Well, he looks like him. We were looking for Harry Houdini.
Ah, God damn it!
Yeah.
I was close. They were both in Apocalypse Now, right?
Yeah, that's right. Just three more here. Yuri Del Harris was an American actress and the spokeswoman for a psychic pay-per-call-per-minute service that aired commercials from 1997 to 2003. Who was she better known as?
Oh. Mama Sheila?
Oh no,
That's a restaurant in town.
No. No, but it's Mama something though.
it's something like
Oh.
is this the woman who's gonna read?
Oh.
I can read your fortune. I'm on at midnight. It would be like infomercials. Is it an infomercial thing?
Mm-hmm.
God damn it! I know this.
Anybody in the chat able to help them out here?
Please, chatters.
Miss Cleo.
Miss Cleo?
Oh.
Oh.
Madame Cleo.
Yeah.
Madame Cleo.
Good for her.
Yes, good for her.
Sometimes, you think, the charlatans, and you just go, everybody needs a gimmick. Good for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And one last one. This
All
is
right.
very difficult, but it's so much fun once you know the answer. Maybe. From the Icelandic sorcery department, pants consisting of the skin of the legs and feet of the dead, and were worn by the living, apparently bringing the wearer greatness, good fortune, and even wealth. What were these pants called?
Oh, disgusting.
A yeast infection.
We will accept both of those.
Dungarees.
I think it's fun because they're necro pants,
Oh.
and you could get
No!
you could get necro pantsy if you had to. Yeah,
Well,
I made it small so you don't see as the doodad there.
well, that would be the literal definition.
Yeah.
Necro pants.
Oh.
And
Yeah.
I don't know if Levi's is gonna like roll out a line because the necro thing would probably turn off some customers.
You know who would, though? American Eagle.
Yeah.
Or American
Eagle.
Apparel.
And finally, if you see a nun today, is she more likely to be married to Christ, or is she a stripper?
Stripper. 100% stripper.
We've
All right.
lost none.
Thanks for helping out the kitchen today, guys.
Thanks.
Appreciate that.
Thanks, Hamill.
So 40 years ago, you would have seen nuns like in society. You would see them if you went to the mall or something. You might see a nun.
Yeah.
This is something that I was just thinking about the other day. Is how in my lifetime the amount of times I've seen nuns as somebody who's about to turn 40 has decreased and decreased and decreased over time to the point where I don't even know the last time
They're
I
not
saw
making
a
new
nun.
ones anymore.
They're not. I
They
just
are.
saw, I
It's
saw
a hard
batch of them
sell.
recently.
Yeah, it
I saw a
is.
batch of young nuns lately, and they were singing in front of a statue, and they came out of nowhere, and I like to sit at the statue. And
But you were
meditate.
at a strip club.
I was at a strip club, and there they were. We became friends,
Yeah.
exchanged numbers, we made some money that night.
See, that's more the contemporary now.
But for real though, nonetheless, like you're right, because the old cult, like let's talk about Catholicism, the big cult, the Pope had all the power in the world.
I was also raised Catholic, so I feel you.
But it's gone through a transition. The last 100 years, we know there was like, every single priest, not every single, but a good portion of priests have been abusers. That's where they hid their gays. And like, I can speak to that, and I know a bit about this. And like, they've gone bankrupt because of all the lawsuits. There are no longer people signing up to be priests and nuns. And what has taken their place is a lot of New Age religion that people are buying into, and it's equally harmful. And when people think it's not, we can talk about it. But there's a lot of abuse in the same ways in a different realm.
Okay, so like in a cult, there is still an ethical system, like even in these Catholic churches where people are being abused.
Yeah.
It's not that they have no ethics, it's that they have a different system
they
of ethics.
absolutely have ethics.
And
That's why they joined the priesthood.
You see this in the New Age, where it's like this totally different system of ethics, where it's like, you disappointed Mother God or whatever you did.
Yeah.
Like it's this very confusing set of rules. And I guess I think about this as a journalist because like in journalism there's sort of like a known system of like what you are and are not allowed to do. And not that I'm always like on top of these things. Sometimes I break the rules on purpose, but I know what the rules are. And a Catholic priest should know that like hanging out with like little boys on the side is like that's like outside of the ethical principles or whatever. And those have been established. They're violating ethical rules that were established long before they became priests. In the New Age, what I see with a lot of the New Age cult leaders is they have like their own established rules of ethics that everybody's got to get to the program or got to get in with.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it's like anything could happen. Like it's a bonanza.
Absolutely.
What I don't like is the whole like about the religious stuff is that. Pretty much if you're a woman, everything is okay under the banner of marriage. You know what I mean? Like you can be abused in so many different ways as long as you're married because you're property, right? And, and then you just got to pray it away or you got to, ask God to help your man or, do you know what I mean?
Like he stops drinking and the whole like the first like wave of the feminism was around their men being drunk and beating them up.
Right.
And like that's a good portion of the reason why liquor became illegal in the United States was that activism by women, and it's real. But
that was never going to happen. No, not at all. Not at all.
But it's happening again in different ways. Like I'm into this in different ways now. In the last 2 years, within all these things that I've been paying attention to, conspirituality, which is the intersection of spirituality and conspiracy theories, the the crunchy, like the very yoga people who are very much into green shakes and detoxifying, the crunchy, hippie to alt-right pipeline is very clear and it's full of conspiracy theories. It's full of new age spirituality. It's totally integrated into it. And within that realm, we have this come back around to divine feminism, which I love to talk about because I love to speak about divine feminism, divine feminine. The divine feminine, I love to study it. I love to talk about goddesses. But at the same time, now it's coming back around to the divine masculine. And you're seeing a lot, if you go on TikTok, you can see, what do they call them? Like the wives who...
Trad wives.
Trad wives, yeah. Like that is all a part of like this coming back in the circular pattern from what we've already seen before.
You hardly ever see trad wives in their 40s, though.
Yeah.
They're always young.
Yeah.
Yeah. You never see them in their 40s. In their 40s, they get tired of being treated like children.
It's trending. It's what is happening right now. And it's deeply seeped in with a lot of the new age spirituality. A lot of it.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, all these cult systems are systems of control and surprise, like women always get it worse. That's just the way, like all systems of control, are based on the oppressors and the oppressed, and this is like just the human history. Like the cult story is really the story of humanity. I think that I don't know if people have gotten there yet. We got a lot of Netflix documentaries and stuff, but it will get there. Where there's a common understanding that like the system of control and the way of control in the United States and the really gross laws and
patriotism is a cult now, wouldn't you say?
Well, yeah.
It is a cult.
But patriotism can exist outside of the cultosphere, whereas I feel like misogyny is closer to like the center of like holding someone down that you have like some power over for whatever reason.
Right.
Like that's more culty than patriot. Like people are patriotic everywhere.
Yeah. To build hierarchies.
Yeah.
Like you can find the people on the bottom easier because they've already been there. Women, people of color tends to be there. The people who are colonized.
I think that what you find is that people who want to exploit some kind of system that is pre-existing, it's way easier to exploit somebody if they've already been held down for you. Like just from like a strategy, if you were somebody who didn't care about ethics or like how you would
like if I wanted to sell a whole bunch of Pampered Chef shit, what do I do?
You find people that are already buying like you find somebody who's predisposition to buy your shit. I'm sorry. Like there's just like there's an arithmetic to it. Like cult leaders don't waste a lot of time on people that they know aren't going to buy into the program.
Right.
Like there are huge cults though where you just mentioned one before that was like
Nexium?
Nexium, that's an example where there's like so many people and you can afford to lose members if not everybody signs up. A lot of smaller cults is like the leadership is way more specific about who they're looking for. Like Nexium was looking for dreamers, people who wanted to be actors and actresses, and they kind of had a type, but in its smaller cults, it's really about like this person is useful for this way. I know I can dominate this person for whatever reason. But like all systems of control, it really comes down to like the background of it is that this person, this type has been oppressed before, and I think that I could do that again.
Pardon me, but clearly Vanessa doesn't know anything about ritual bloodlettings. The kitchen's a mess. I doubt she's ever seen a pentagram in her life. Who was her geometry? I mean, what part of sanguinate a javelina don't you understand? It's easy.
It's cult, Hamill, not occult.
We're about to have some problems back. You can't. She put the book in the fryer. Hang on a second. Hang on. Well, hang on. That's not right. Vanessa. She's gone.
Okay.
She's gone.
Oh.
I am leaving.
Oh, okay.
Just one more thing. I hate to interrupt again, but I'll be going to bed soon.
Oh, yeah.
And I have this renegade hair on my chin that I'd like you to get after.
Yes.
Before I go to bed, otherwise it'll drive me nuts all night.
I will. I have the tweezers, Mom. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Didn't mean to interrupt, but serious business.
Gotta keep ahead of those stray hairs. Well, all right. Well, I guess diner's got to close up. I gotta get those whiskers.
Oh my goodness.
But thanks. This was really interesting. I hope sometime you guys would, darken my door again, will you?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool.
And then we can really get into desegmentation.
Yeah.
And the blood stuff.
And the blood stuff.
Yes.
And to answer your question though, like if you want to sell your Pampered Chef stuff to somebody or be in that cult, you got to find vulnerable, primarily targeted poor women and usually mothers. That's the targeted segment that you are looking at, and that's what they target in almost all multi-level marketing cults, companies, pyramid schemes. So just so you know, if you're going to get into that, that's especially around the holidays when they're feeling poor, they're looking for some free money.
Once again, the answer and the problem.
Yeah.
Single mothers.
I've been saying this forever. No, I'm kidding. I would say that the one thing that I would say is that lots of people think that it is true that there are vulnerable populations to any sort of cult, but everybody is vulnerable to something.
Mhm.
And even if the more you think you're not vulnerable to any of this stuff,
Yeah.
the more vulnerable you are, the more confident you are that it could never happen to you, like the more you're just kind of like ripe for the picking.
Mm-hmm.
That's the dark side of devotion.
And absolutism.
Yeah. Well, thanks, guys. I'm gonna start. You know what? It's on the house.
Oh,
It's on the house tonight.
fantastic.
So I really appreciate the good talk.
Awesome. I was gonna dine and dash anyway.
That's okay. That's okay. I'm not doing this for the money.